I'm born in Malmö, and then from there I packed my bag, I went on adventure, and I'm still on adventure.
Malmö, Juventus, Inter Milan, Barcelona, AC Milan.
And now Zlatan has signed for PSG.
To do what you're good at in your home, it's very easy, where your mother cooks food for you.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic is in Manchester.
He's coming to the Premier League. Zlatan Ibrahimovic has joined Manchester United.
Take your bag and travel around. Go to different backyards and show who you are. That is very difficult.
The former Manchester United and Sweden striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic has returned to AC Milan.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic, born on October 3rd, 1981 in Malmö, Sweden, is one of the greatest strikers to ever play football. Currently, he is playing for the Serie A club AC Milan on a second spell, trying to help the club reach its former glory. He is one of the most decorative players in the world, having won 32 trophies in his career so far. Zlatan has scored a goal in each of the last 4 decades and has scored more than 535 goals in his career, breaking many records along the way. But what made Zlatan the superstar he is today? Zlatan spent his childhood in Rosengard, which was commonly known as the ghetto of Malmö. Living as a foreigner in an environment where you had to be tough all the time and prove yourself to the others, Zlatan started developing his strong attitude and the mindset of never giving up or showing weakness. Rosengard helped shape him into the strong, self-confident man he is today. In cooperation with Nike, Zlatan helped build his very own football court in Rosengard, showing his gratitude, but also giving the kids hope and a place to practice the very thing that made him famous: football. When asked how he feels about the fact that he is coming from Rosengard, Zlatan said, "You can take a kid out of Rosengard, but you can never take Rosengard out of the kid." As war refugees, Zlatan and his family went through tough times, lack of food in the house being one of his nightmares. In his first book, I Am Football, Zlatan talks about his difficult childhood and explains how football was his way out. Young Zlatan would watch famous football players doing amazing skills and scoring brilliant goals, and then go out to practice them himself. His idol was Ronaldo, from whom he would see set dribbles and skill moves only to go outside and practice them. Football was his way of showing the other kids that he's someone to be reckoned with, and soon enough, football should become the thing that would change his life for the better.
I had a great neighborhood, great friends. It was a tough area, yes. When you were talking to people from outside the area, I mean, they were scared to come in, and we didn't understand why are they scared to come in, because here we really have it good here. I mean, I don't say it's a good thing to steal a car, but all those crazy things. But for us was like giving us the kicks we needed. We didn't eat caviar and we didn't drink champagne, but I was raised there, and I really enjoyed it, and it's something I will never forget, and that's the one that made me who I am today. Where I came from, when we were playing, it was about like playing beautiful, best skills, put between the legs, make a fool of your opponent, because where I came from, the neighborhood was rough, and it was all about doing those things. Who was number one in that? And it was not about scoring goals and score a lot of goals. It was like who had the best skills, technique, and I brought that with me wherever I came.
And when did football start to become a part of your life?
I think when I was 17. Before 17, I was like the last one they considered to become good. I mean, one day, the first coach of the first team, he went out and he saw me in a game, and he was like, "I want to have a meeting with you." And I was like, okay, what did I do now? I mean, every time I had a meeting was for some kind of disciplinary thing. And then he said, on Monday you start to train with the big guys. You're in a first team. And then I was like, from considering to be not the biggest talent, like let's say the last one in the group, to jump over all of them and come in the first group. And I was like, okay. And I was in shock and I didn't want to say it too much, because maybe if I talk too much, he will change his mind. I was like, okay, see you on Monday then.
This was the first big step in Zlatan's career. He started playing for Malmö's first squad in the Swedish First League and witnessed the relegation into Sweden's second division. It was a big opportunity for him, and he knew he had to take it. But just like most young football stars, the hype around his talent in the media got to him, leading Zlatan into saying some things recklessly.
In the beginning, the media, I was more open. I was more open in the sense that I said whatever I want. For example, I said Sweden, they were playing a European championship. I was 15, 16, and I just started to play football in the bigger level. And I said, with me, they would won the whole world European. And in the paper, bam, bam. And I was talking to journalists, but I was talking open. And they were building me up, and then after they were stabbing me from behind. Because what happened in the beginning, I don't read papers. You read the headline, Zlatan, the new star, Zlatan, the new thing, Zlatan. But then started to change all of it. The media was talking bad about me, but very bad, saying I'm arrogant, just like everywhere else. I am unpolished diamond. I don't belong here. I'm only an individual. I talk too much. All of this, I had to go through.
But it wasn't just the media that gave Zlatan a hard time. While the head coach believed in his talent, most of the other players didn't. Ever since joining Malmö's youth team, Zlatan's teammates and their parents had a problem with his attitude. They saw a kid who was too focused on himself, who dribbled way too much, a kid with a bad temper, a kid that did not belong there.
When I come in this Swedish club, Malmö, I was not accepted like everybody else. Why? Because I was Ibrahimovic. I was not Andersson, I was not Svensson, all this typical Swedish name. I was foreigner.
Han är jävligt egoistisk också.
I had an incident in the training. I get a tackle and I hit the guy, bam, because I was angry. His father was a police officer. He signed a letter to the club demanding that the club should kick me out. And he gave this paper to all the players in the team. I didn't know nothing. And he said, sign this, that you agree that Zlatan should be kicked out. And I was in Primavera, juniors. Can you imagine when it came out, how I was feeling? I was feeling totally like I was not fitting in with them, like the black sheep. They didn't accept my attitude. They didn't accept me like a person. They didn't make me feel welcome. I was different. I suffer in a way that it was not easy for me like the other ones. I felt I needed to do 10 times more to be seen by everybody. But it's okay for me, because this is what makes me stronger.
Despite being criticized, Zlatan kept going and worked hard. He stayed true to himself and never stopped fighting back, proving his haters wrong and leading Malmö back into Sweden's first league. After just 2 years with Malmö's pros, it was time for him to take the next big step in his career, to experience the life of a professional football player. Zlatan's first transfer was to Ajax Amsterdam. Even though Zlatan signed for Ajax, there were a couple of other clubs that were looking to sign him as a promising talent. Arsene Wenger was one of the head coaches who wanted to bring in the young star, but things did not go as Wenger expected. Just a quick reminder, back in the day, Arsenal was the powerhouse in the Premier League and one of the top clubs in Europe. But Zlatan responded to Arsene Wenger's offer in a way only Zlatan can.
He was 17, let's not forget, and I wanted to give him a trial with the first team, and he turned it down. He said to me, I don't make trials. You take me or you don't take me. I was a young boy that I had never seen playing, and it shows what Zlatan is about.
Joining Ajax, Zlatan discovered the good and bad sides of being a professional footballer. His first transfer came with a lot of negative memories, one of them being the fact that he had trusted his friend and at that time sporting director of Malmö with the negotiations and terms of the transfer contract. A couple of months later, he came to realize that he was the lowest paid player in the whole team and that he had the worst contract terms, only because Malmö wanted to get as much money as possible from Ajax. Another bad memory came from the fact that Zlatan had spent his first paycheck on a car, only to later realize that he had no money left for food. He was living alone and couldn't cope with the adult life. It was around that time that he became friends with another one of Ajax's young players, Brazilian defender Maxwell. Maxwell took him in, and that was the start of a friendship that would last a lifetime. Ajax wasn't the only club where they would play together. These two have played together in several clubs and were an unstoppable team. From Inter to Barcelona and even PSG, most of the time, where Zlatan would go, Maxwell would follow. In the 3 years spent in Ajax, Zlatan perfected his skills. Ajax was the perfect team for a young, skilled football player like him. He was a rising star and gained a lot of fans, but he also made some enemies. Ajax captain, at that time, one of the biggest rising stars in the Netherlands, Rafael van der Vaart, did not get along very well with him and the spotlight that he was getting, which led the two into a couple of confrontations. With the coach backing Van der Vaart and Ibrahimovic not feeling valued enough, he started his search for a new challenge, with his eyes on Italy. With Ajax, Zlatan had won 4 titles over the course of 3 seasons, scoring 48 goals. While searching for a new club, Zlatan decided that it was time to get a bad boy like himself as an agent. He hired Mino Raiola, a manager who had a reputation to fight dirty for his agents, and the two clicked instantly. They were not just a player and an agent, they soon became close friends. One of the reasons for this was that they had similar personalities, which helped them speak the same language, fighting with each other but also bringing out the best in each other. In his book, I Am Football, Zlatan speaks about his interesting relationship with Mino Raiola. There's no one I've argued with as much as I've argued with Mino, but today he's not just a business partner, he's a fantastic friend and mentor who has meant so much to me. Mino Raiola then went on to sell Zlatan from Ajax to Juventus for 16 million euros. Playing for Juventus under Fabio Capello, Ibra soon came to realize that the Serie A was a whole other challenge than the Dutch league. He also learned how important it is to perform as a professional and what it means to be a striker.
With Capello was more like the disciplinary. When I came there, he was like, I came there from Ajax, and he was like, I will bang out the Ajax system out of you, because now we are in Italy. Now you have to score goals. I don't care about other things, the dribble, the tunnel. It's not important for me. You have to score goals. And that it was more win. I don't care how we win, but we need to win. And that was the winner instinct, the winner mentality. And everything was new for me. I mean, Juventus was like, wow, big club, big players, big coach, big history, Italian football, Serie A. Wow, that was when Serie A was on the top. And I was like, only to come here is something huge for me, something amazing. And now to stay here, I need to work hard. But I felt I'm there because of a reason. I'm here because I'm good. I'm not here because I had luck or somebody gave me a wild card. No, because of hard work. And at the end, became like a machine. In front of the goal, score a goal. You get opportunity, score a goal. And especially in Italy, because in Italy as a striker, I think is the most difficult position because they're so tactically good. And at that time, the football, you had all these world-class defenders. I remember a game I played against Maldini, Nesta. You don't get a chance. Maybe you get a half chance. And when you pass them, behind them was Dida. So it's not like you need to pass the defenders. Then you have a world-class goalkeeper. But I had the luck that I had Buffon as a training partner. And in front of the defense, in front of him was Thuram, Cannavaro. You don't go past them feeling good. You go past them and you will have pain everywhere. And then you need to have the strength to put it in the goal, but then you have Buffon to pass. So I had a good environment to train that skill to score goal, and I was lucky. And at the end, I mean, the goals will come as long as you train.
During his time at Juventus, Zlatan met and played alongside whom he calls the best player he has ever played with, Patrick Vieira. Vieira helped him strengthen his training attitude and helped him grow his never-ending hunger for better performance. He kept pushing Zlatan to his limits and always expected him to do better than the previous training.
When I met Patrick Vieira first time was in Juventus. I knew who he was. I remember we played against Arsenal. When I was in Ajax, there was this Amsterdam Arena tournament. And I remember when we were sitting on the bench, the whole Ajax team, Patrick Vieira was the only player from Arsenal to give the hand to every player when he went past them. The other ones passed, hello, nothing. But he gave hand to every player. And already I said to myself, wow, this is something else. This is different. And when he came to Juventus, he had a big influence in my game because to train every day good. The way you train is the way you play game. He was on me all the time. I mean, when you yell at somebody, you put pressure on somebody, normally the pressure doesn't come back because, yeah, different personalities, different characters. But from him, it came twice back. And that I was not used to that. So he was on me all the time. So when I thought I did good, he said I did bad. And he was always on me, and that made my mind, he triggered my mentality by not being satisfied. You have to do much more because it's not enough.
He's a player that every coach would want to have at their disposal. To compare Van Basten and Ibrahimovic, well, they are both exceptional players. And I was lucky enough to train both of them. Van Basten was a fantastic player and a true finisher who played to score, but also one who worked for the team. Ibrahimovic is more of a creative talent, but both are capable of transforming a game.
At Juventus, Zlatan won the Serie A 2 years in a row. Unfortunately, after only 2 years at the club, Zlatan had to leave Juventus because the club was drowning in problems caused by the Calciopoli affair. These were caused by the club director Luciano Moggi, who had influenced the Italian Football Association to appoint Juventus-friendly referees to oversee their games. This affair led to Juventus being stripped of their 2 titles and getting demoted to the Serie B with 9 minus points at the start of the season. Zlatan was one of the players who left after the demotion. He moved to Inter Milan, together with Patrick Vieira. Inter, who had paid 25 million euros to complete the transfer, gave Zlatan a 5-year contract. They knew that he was the superstar who will help them win titles and get them back to the top of Serie A again. In his debut game against Fiorentina, Zlatan assisted the goal and then scored a 3-2 winner, proving to the fans that he was the man to get the job done. In his first 2 seasons with Inter, Zlatan won the league title twice and acquired numerous individual trophies. During that time, he was coached by Roberto Mancini, who despite the title glory was replaced by the infamous special one, Jose Mourinho.
Mourinho I didn't know. I mean, I heard a lot when he was in Chelsea. And when I get to know him, it was amazing. I mean, he dragged out of me things that no other coach has done before. I mean, when I was playing, I was feeling like a Terminator. I was feeling so confident under him. And when he had his talk, how he prepares for the game, the way we were playing, the way he made you feel. From being a cat, I felt like a lion. And when I came out, I was so confident in my game, and I won the top scorer in Italy, which I think is the most difficult in all the competition to win is in Italy. I felt much better as a football player in my mind and also in the way I was playing with him.
My feelings are exactly the same. I think we connected very well. We never had a problem. The only time we disagree was obvious, because I want him to stay in Inter and he wants to leave to Barcelona, but that's normal. But during 1 year the relation was phenomenal, and when people say that he's the kind of a difficult personality, for me the difficult personalities are the players that don't want to win, don't want to work, don't want to be the best. He wants to win, he wants to work, he wants to be the best. He has a big ego, big self-esteem. He knows that he is really a top player. So for me, to be his coach was fantastic. No problem at all. We are friends. We will keep like that. We respect each other. And tomorrow he wants to win, I want to win. That's the nature of football.
Even though the chemistry between Ibra and Mourinho was brilliant, with Zlatan being the leader of the team that won the league once again, repeated failure in the Champions League made him doubt his future with the club. He thought that his best chances of winning the Champions League trophy would be with his childhood dream club, Barcelona. In 2009, after 3 successful seasons at Inter, winning 5 trophies and scoring 66 goals in 117 appearances, Zlatan made his dream come true and transferred to Barcelona, who paid 70 million euros for the superstar goalscorer. On his way out, he had a discussion with Mourinho, who told Zlatan that he would not win the Champions League without him. The following season, this was proven to be true, with Mourinho winning the Champions League with Inter Milan.
Do you think you're a hard player to manage?
No. That is the picture that somebody made of me and that is following me wherever I go. I mean, if you see afterwards, if you talk to the coaches, the only one that would say that maybe, I'm not 100% sure that is something, is Guardiola, if he has something to say, which I don't find he has. I had a dream to come to Barcelona, but afterwards I'm thinking maybe you should keep your dream instead of making it come through. Because that dream could have not destroyed me, but make it difficult for me. And the first 6 months, fantastic. I had a fantastic time. I had a very good relationship with Guardiola. I wanted to learn the Barcelona, the way of playing. It went good the first 6 months. After that, something happened that I still don't have answers for, which maybe I will never know. I mean, if somebody has a problem with me, should come to me and we resolve it, whatever the problem is, like a man, because it was ridiculous. You don't talk to the player is looking for answers.
Zlatan was 27 when he joined Barcelona. He was in his prime and most people speculated that this would be the highlight of his career, since Barcelona was, at that time, the best team in Europe. But things did not go as expected. Zlatan had a good first season at Barcelona, scoring 22 goals in 46 matches and winning big games like the El Clasico in November 2009. However, strained relationship with Guardiola would end his time at Barcelona sooner than he wanted. 1 month after arriving at Barcelona, who had paid 65 million euros for the Swedish striker, things were looking great for Ibrahimovic. He would become the first Barcelona player in history to score in each of his first 5 games, showing the world that Barca had made the right move by adding him to their world-class team. The relationship with Guardiola was alright and the chemistry within the team seemed perfect, despite the media trying to create a rivalry between Ibra and Messi. In his book, I Am Football, Zlatan addresses his relationship with Messi, saying that he feels nothing but respect for Leo and that he is glad he got to play with a fantastic player like Messi.
I think Messi is one of a kind. What he's doing, I don't know if we will see another player do the things that he does, because he has his way of playing, the style, and to become that player, I don't think it's possible. That's why I say he's one of a kind. I had the luck that I saw him every day, and I saw what he was doing every day. So, I mean, I said it before, it's like playing PlayStation. You give the ball to the guy and you start to go through every player. And that's who Messi is. And I think we should be appreciating, especially Argentina should appreciate that they have a player like that, and they should enjoy him while he's playing, because it's a beautiful game.
Unfortunately, after only 6 months with his dream club, things took a turn for the worse. In his 2 books, he talks about his difficult relationship with the philosopher, as he called Guardiola. With their problems getting more and more media attention, Zlatan wished they had a face-to-face confrontation about it. Guardiola started to ignore and bench Zlatan more and more, giving him the cold shoulder and never discussing the problems they had. Zlatan, who tried more than ever to fit in and be the good guy who doesn't cause trouble, found himself in a difficult spot. Even though the first season was his hardest ever, with Ibra losing his passion as a result of Guardiola's psychological war, he still ended up winning 4 titles with Barcelona that year. With the start of the pre-season, Guardiola finally called Zlatan to discuss the next season. Zlatan, who despite all the troubles wanted to stay at Barcelona, quickly realized that it was not about them resolving their issues. Rather, it was the coach's way of telling him that he should start looking for another club, since he would not be featured in the big games and have an important role in the team anymore.
At that moment, I was not happy. And I said, I have to choose. Either I stay, win everything, but I will not be happy, or I go to somewhere else. And that is what happened. I went to Milan. My joy came back for playing football. I did a good job. I won the Scudetto immediately. I won the Supercoppa. Everybody was happy, and they were like appreciating me for playing there.
After his difficult time in Barcelona, Milan was wonderfully liberating for Zlatan. He loved the food, the city, his new team and the Italian way of playing football. His joy for football came back, and Milan helped him find his way back to who he was, a lion, a warrior, a leader and a winner. Zlatan found a new challenge, which was to win the league title with AC Milan, who did not win it ever since the 2003-2004 season. Upon his arrival and reveal in San Siro, Ibrahimovic promised and told the fans just what they were hoping to hear, that this year they were going to win it all.
I think the supporters will enjoy a lot this year, because with the arrival of Robinho and me, you get two players that likes to play football. I mean, people that knows football, they know that we can play football and that we give something back to the people, but not by playing only. We want to give them trophies, and we will work every day to do our best. And at the end of the season, I hope we are celebrating.
As usual, Zlatan delivered. In his 2 years with AC Milan, he helped them win the league title and the Italian Super Cup. But things did not always go smoothly. Zlatan went back to his bad habits as well, getting a couple of unnecessary suspensions, which did not make life for the Milan coach, Massimiliano Allegri, any easier. Unfortunately, after 2 seasons at the club, Zlatan had to move on to PSG. Milan's owner at the time, Silvio Berlusconi, was ordered to pay damages amounting to 560 million euros as a result of a transaction that took place in the early 1990s. In order to get some financial stability back to the club, a couple of senior players had to be let go. The two superstars, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Thiago Silva, were sold to Paris Saint-Germain. Even though Zlatan did not want to leave Milan at first, he ended up accepting a new challenge. He never played in France before, and he saw the plan that PSG was trying to carry out. After talking to his agent, Mino Raiola, Ibrahimovic chose to help shape PSG into one of Europe's top clubs.
When I got to Paris, we were there for 6 months. So he signed in the summer, and when there was talk of him coming, there was a lot of anticipation, some anxiety from different people, me included, about what kind of character and personality he was going to be. He had a reputation for being very strong, even disruptive and difficult to deal with. But I had a brilliant experience working with him. He was fantastic. Competitive, wanted things done correctly every day, demanded of his teammates. The kind of person that you'd want next year if you were going into a big game, a battle. If you knew you had tough times ahead, he'd certainly be someone that you'd want next to you. And he was instrumental in making us very successful in that year.
At the time of Zlatan's arrival, PSG was not the team they are today. They did not win the league since 1994 and were desperate for success. The new owners were ready to transform Paris Saint-Germain into one of Europe's top clubs, and money was not an issue. They signed a couple of good players and hoped, just like many clubs before them, that Zlatan could help them reach a new level. Once again, Zlatan delivered. His strong personality and winner mindset helped them win many trophies over the course of his 4 years at the club. However, a lot of fans and critics were not pleased by Zlatan's choice to join PSG and play in France, since it was considered a weaker league in Europe.
What do you think? What do you say to people in Sweden that think Zlatan Ibrahimovic go to a league who is not that good as the Italian?
Something like go yourself, or something in that attitude, because these people always have something to complain about Zlatan. I've never heard this kind of people say, hey, that's good, we have a Swedish guy that is bringing up the Swedish flag. And I told that already 2-3 days ago. I don't think that... There are some people that don't deserve Zlatan to be Swedish, but okay, he's Swedish and he's proud of it. There's always people that always want to criticize something, you know? And I said that is in the Italian papers always. It is very, very, maybe not nice to hear, but Zlatan doesn't need money. Zlatan needs emotions. He needs objectives. He needs targets to win for. This is not a kind of player that is motivated or drifted by money. Money is a consequence of some other things.
As a captain and leader, Zlatan elevated the team and pushed his teammates to never give up, always wanting more. In his first year at the club, he had Carlo Ancelotti as his coach, who was later replaced by Laurent Blanc.
When I met Ancelotti, was also old school, but as a person, amazing. He's the most, let's say, fantastic person that I had as a coach. I never had a relationship with a coach like I had with Ancelotti. And I think many can say that had Ancelotti, because he was feeling like my coach, like my friend, and almost like a father. Since I came to Paris, was most attention wherever I've been. Follow me everywhere. Talk about me everywhere. So when Beckham came, was like, he get all the attention now. That was good, and as a person, he's amazing. The one who has negative things to say about him is either jealous or hate him, because there is no things negative to say about him.
After 4 successful years in Paris, having won 13 titles and scored 156 goals in 180 games, Ibrahimovic had done exactly what was expected of him. He brought PSG to the next level. Even though not everything went as smoothly as it should have, Zlatan trusted the process and never gave up, with his lion mindset always pushing him beyond his limits. There were some incidents in PSG as well, but it was nothing that would make his time in Paris any less significant. Ibrahimovic showed everyone that he is a true leader and winner, and how good he was at what he was doing. It played out just like he promised it would. He had arrived as a king and left PSG as a legend.
PSG, dominating in France. You have loads of goals, awards, trophies. Do you think you needed a new challenge?
Let's say I will never turn down a challenge. So when this challenge came, when it was presented to me, I would never turn down. I'm not like many others where they sit good, they have it good, and they know they can perform at top, and they would never change. But me, I'm opposite. I will take the challenge and I will go for it. I will work hard. I will sacrifice, and then what the outcome becomes, we'll have to wait and see. But turn down a challenge, it doesn't exist in my world. I've been in every country with England now, and my moment when I should have gone to England, I was talking to different players that I know good and that I trust, that will give me an honest opinion. Everybody said, don't do it. It's not good for a career. You don't do a good season, people will say the rest of your thing you did before is useless because you didn't make it in England. Yeah, you did it there, but you didn't do it here. But that triggered me, because that is the challenge I want. So I went against everybody that said to me no, and I said, this is exactly what I want to do. Everybody thought that I'm too old, but I came, and I made the Premier League look old.
Up goes Ibrahimovic! He is Zlatan!
I had a fantastic time in United. It was a mix. I had Waza, I had Carrick, like the older players, let's say, and then I had these young guys, not newcomers, but young guys that wanted to go to show the world who they are. And I had a good time because I got to know everybody, and I came in a different position because I was more like the mature guy, and on all these young that was not so mature, let's say.
Zlatan arrived at Old Trafford in a different position than in any transfer in his career before. While he still was a superstar goalscorer, his transfer to United happened because of the coach Jose Mourinho, who needed the warrior and leader he had met during his time in Inter. Mourinho relied a lot on Zlatan's goal contributions, but more than that needed him to sharpen the team's winner mindset and match attitude, since the team was struggling to win trophies ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left the club as head coach.
Jose Mourinho, you know from Internazionale, obviously, and he never settles for anything other than the best. Has he changed since your time since Inter Milan, and what have you seen change in him?
I think he is still the same winner. The same winner. I feel him have a lot of patience with this team, and he's keeping a balance where he needs to pull the trigger and not pull the trigger, because it's almost like a gamble. How hard can you go? How hard can you not go?
On the players, you mean? Yeah.
With this team, how far can you go with the team? How will they react? It's all this manipulation to not get an unstable team, because the team needs to be comfort, it needs to be feel good to make the maximum it can do. So, but in this way, he's very intelligent. He knows what he needs to do.
Jose Mourinho says that you were an extension of his right arm. What do you think he means by that?
I think by the mental part, the mentality and the discipline I bring to the locker room. Because like I said, the way you train is the way you play your game. There is no relaxing in training. There is no don't give 100% in training. And that is who Jose Mourinho is. He wants that. He wants from you not 100%, he wants from you 200%. He wants you, worst case scenario, you should stand there and you give still 200%. You have a little bit pain in your leg, you don't feel that when you go on the field. And that is the mentality he brings, and that is what I believe also in and what I bring. Because I can give you an example. Before I got injured, I didn't miss one training, I didn't miss one game, because I want to be there. And in the end, when after my injury, when I was selected to the games, I said to Coach Mourinho, I said, listen, I don't want to disappoint you and my teammates. I cannot give you the Zlatan that you're used to. That's why I will not give you this version, because I'm not ready. And I put myself out because I know what he wants and what he expects from the players. So he had a Zlatan before the injury and one after that was not ready. And I said to him, I cannot give you the old Zlatan. That's why I pulled myself back and I said to him, for the respect of you and the teammates, don't put me in the picture, because I cannot give you what you want. And that is why I think I was his extended arm, like bringing it longer than he could, but in the locker room among the players and that. So I can understand why he says that.
The chemistry with his teammates seemed to be good, and one connection, both on and off the pitch, seemed to especially stand out: the friendship and understanding between Ibra and Paul Pogba.
Paul Pogba and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the two players coming on.
Pogba, I never played with him before. I didn't know him as a person. And when I get to know Pogba in that moment, I found a fantastic person, fantastic football player, but at the same time that needs to be guided. Small things, but in the right way.
Pogba looks for the opening as Ibrahimovic drifts in behind Gordon Greer. Ibrahimovic! Wonderful finish. You can't give him an opportunity like that.
He's a professional guy that works every day, never miss a training, never miss a game. If he can play, he will play. And I found a young guy that was a good guy that wanted it so much, and he will get it because he's working hard for it. And then when you click with somebody, it clicks. It's nothing you decide, listen, I will be your friend and you will be mine. It just happened. And the connection on the field was amazing, I think, because we helped each other very good. I needed him, he needed me. And I think the first year in United, we had a fantastic year.
If it weren't for Ibrahimovic's knee injury against Anderlecht in the Europa League quarterfinal in 2017, he would have probably stayed longer with the club than the year and a half he had spent there. However, despite the injury, his impact with the Red Devils was remarkable, with Ibra winning 3 trophies while scoring 29 goals in 53 appearances for the club. He had proven all his critics and haters wrong and decided that, after recovering from his ACL injury, he had to take a step back and try out something different. As his next destination, Ibrahimovic chose LA Galaxy. He announced his arrival at the club in his own Zlatan way, with a full-page advertisement in the LA Times saying, "Dear Los Angeles, you're welcome."
There's a story, I think it's from your agent Mino Raiola.
Okay.
And he said that you coming to LA was partly to fulfill a promise to your wife, is that right?
Nah, we talked about it, and she said one day I would like to see how it is to live in LA, and that is one of many factors why I chose LA. It was not like LA chose me. I chose LA to come, and I chose Galaxy to play under Galaxy. So that is one of the reasons.
What's it like when you walk around? So this morning I sort of was wandering around Beverly Hills, and I went up to about 5 or 6 different people, and I was like, "Do you know who Zlatan is?" Guess how many people said yes?
All 5.
Close, 1. In a serious question though, is it nice to be recognised sometimes, but not every minute of every day?
I think in Europe the football is extreme. I mean, the football is bigger than it is here, obviously, and it's a different lifestyle because wherever you go, you have more eyes on you. Here is more open. I mean, some recognize you, some do not recognize you, but for me that is not important. I don't need the attention to have some kind of proof to know who I am. I live a normal life wherever I go. I try to live a normal Swedish typical life. If I want to go out, I'll go out. If they recognize me or not a problem. If they want a signature, if they want a picture, no problem for me, because I don't change my life after my profession that I do. No, it's opposite. The profession change it for the way I want to live, the way my family lives. So my attention is the way I perform, and I know how I can perform and what I need to perform. I'm the best at what I'm able to do. So all the other things around is not important, because who would recognize you if you were not a football player? Nobody. So it's not important for me.
Is it nice for the family though as well? Because I guess when you lived in Manchester, it would be harder to kind of go around with them and do social things.
I try to separate my profession and the family. Look at my social. Do you see my wife and my 2 kids in there? No. It's not part of their world. Yes, they live in it, but it's not important for them, and it's not important for me to put them in there. I'm a little bit old school and from the new school, because new school, I feel you get attention very fast for doing very little. Before, you needed to do more to get a little attention. And my family, they don't live in my shadow, in my shade. They are more important than my profession. My kids is bigger than my football. They are important. So wherever I go, where is their area, let's say in their training, I'm just the father. I'm not the football player. I am even discreet coming there. I don't want people to even see me, because it's their area. They are the stars in that environment. That is important for me. The rest, that me playing football, people think I want to be seen, and that is not important. Because if you're good at what you're doing, the rest comes by itself.
Zlatan spent almost 2 years playing for LA Galaxy, where he managed to score impressive 54 goals in 58 matches played. It was a new experience for Zlatan, playing in the MLS, since the football in America is not as big as it is in Europe. After failing to win silverware in the MLS, Ibrahimovic openly criticized the American playoff system, saying that the league system in Europe would end up being more rewarding for football and a team that is constantly winning and playing well. Nevertheless, Ibrahimovic impressed everyone and proved that, for him, age is just a number. Upon his arrival, he showed the MLS who Zlatan really is. The only requirement Galaxy had when he signed for them was that he would be available for the derby against Los Angeles FC. Zlatan had one training session before the match and was substituted into the game in the 70th minute when Galaxy was down 3-1. His team managed to score a quick goal, making it 3-2, and shortly after, Ibrahimovic scored the equalizer with a spectacular strike, announcing his arrival in the MLS. But that still was not enough for him. In the 90th minute, Zlatan scored a header, securing a 3-4 comeback derby win in his first game in the MLS.
Throwing his body in, it's going to fall for Ibrahimovic! Oh, come on! Come on!
LAFC have just been Zlatan. Welcome to Major League Soccer. Take a bow. Sensational! Did you think he was going to live up to the billing? Of course he did! Out of this world!
Zlatan's run in the MLS was so impressive that a lot of Europe's top clubs wanted to sign the experienced goalscorer. Before deciding on his future, Ibrahimovic had a lot of offers and ideas in mind, with retirement looking like a solid choice. Instead, Zlatan decided to join AC Milan, the club that felt like home to him.
The first time I came to Milan, I came to a club that was fighting for the title, and the second time I came, it was in a situation to bring the club team back to the top where it belongs. But it's a challenge I like, because when they say it's too difficult, it's almost impossible, that is where I come in the picture, and that is where I feel alive. Especially when you're 38, 39, he's too old and that. I'm here because what I do present time. I'll keep going until I can do these things I'm doing.
Zlatan is currently playing for AC Milan and is in talks to extend his contract with the club for another season, since both the coach and the board have agreed that his amazing performance on the pitch and his influence within the team are some of the key reasons why Milan have been performing so well this season. It seems that Ibra will agree to said extension, and that age really is just a number for the 39-year-old striker from Sweden. There really is only one Zlatan, after all. Zlatan's time with the Swedish national team is just as remarkable as his whole career as a professional football player. He played his first game for Sweden on January 31st, 2001, against the Faroe Islands, and scored his first goal in a World Cup qualifier against Azerbaijan. Overall, Zlatan managed to score 62 goals and assist another 25 in 116 matches played for the national team. However, despite winning the Swedish Golden Ball for the best Swedish football player 12 times, the media criticized Zlatan for never winning an international trophy with the Swedish national team. His whole life, Ibrahimovic was challenged and pressured by the media and his critics, who always found something that he had not achieved, something that he was missing, something that Ibrahimovic did not do the way they expected him to.
But I get triggered because it has been all my career like this. Wherever I went, they have been saying, he didn't win Golden Ball, he didn't do that, he didn't win Champions, he didn't do that, all these things. But I didn't have it since I came in the big, let's say on the big scene. I had it since I started to play football as a youngster, as a 14, 15-year-old. They were all like, he's not like the other ones, he will not succeed. They were all pointing on me, judging me even before I had the opportunity to do what I'm good at, to do what I'm able to do. So I don't know how much I have left. I just want to enjoy my moment. I don't want to have a headache. I want to go into something, but I go into something 200%, and I want to enjoy it because I know when I stop, I will miss all of those things. I will miss everything around the football, what is happening. I will miss the smell of the grass. I will miss the vibration from the stadiums when it's full, obviously. I will miss the big stage of the stadiums. So I just want to enjoy my moment.
On March 16th, 2021, Zlatan announced his return to the Swedish national team after previously retiring from national football in 2016. He wants to help them in their upcoming qualifying games and is going to play for Sweden in the delayed Euros later this year. Zlatan's amazing form and the strength he has once again shown in Milan were key factors for his return to the national team. He still has the same winner mindset he has had his whole career and wants to enjoy at least one more international tournament before retirement, which might be a topic of conversation for the 39-year-old in the upcoming seasons.
When I'm looking back and thinking where I came from, who would thought that the guy from Rosengård will do this kind of things? Who thought the guy from Rosengård will be captain of the Swedish national team? We thought the guy from Roscoe will break the records of the goals through history. When I look back after I quit, I will think the story is pretty nice, pretty good.
If we were in your house doing this interview, how many of these pictures would be like on your wall?
None.
None? How come?
Because my wife doesn't allow me to have pictures of myself, because she says it's already too much talks about you and I don't want to see you on the walls.
So just you and the
It's
kids.
enough I see you in real life. So we are bad in those things. No, she don't. There is one on my feet, on the wall. I found it cool to have it up, in, even if it's ugly toes, we don't care. We put it on the wall just as a reminder. We have food to eat thanks to those feet. So you should kiss those feet every day. No, I'm joking. Aguero is good. He's all round. There is a couple of them, but if you want to talk top, I feel there is striker all over the world that can be here and make the difference.
You didn't say yourself. I was expecting you to say me.
Lions, they don't compare themselves with humans.
Are you proud when you make a goal like that?
I'm proud for my team and for my club, yes.
You didn't cheer when you made the first goal. You just walked back.
No, because we did 1-1 and yeah, it was like it was not a leading goal, so it was nothing to cheer about. It was only to come back and to score more goals.
In my world, I get judged after every last training and every last game I do. It's part of the game. If you come up among lions, you should expect to get attacked by the lions. It's normal, because if you're a cat, you will run away. But if you're a lion, you will stay among the other lions. That's my world. That's where I come from. I came to England. I came here as a 35-year-old where everybody thought I was in a wheelchair. And what happened? The lion is still alive. And that's the way it is. Now I have opportunity to do something good out of it. And it's up to me. So if I want to become something that I think I can become, I have to train hard. And that's my mentality. I like to train hard. I mean, you can have talent, but talent don't take you all the way.